welcome guys to another episode on the Extra Mile. I wanted to do another SimRig episode today and kind of give you a rundown of the rig as it is right now. And especially I wanted to tell you about the costs, because that is something that I haven't done yet, or not in detail at least, and I think that warrants another little video. So let's get into it. First thing that you can see is I already have to vacuum the carpet again. When you use it, it gets a little bit dirty, so you have to keep it clean. Same thing for the cockpit. It likes to get dusty, but I do have my brush for that. A brush is the best thing to keep dust out of your car, by the way. I have always had that in my real car as well, so that works pretty well. Much better than these damn cloth that you can buy or whatever. So anyway, the costs. I thought I would start with the most expensive part of the whole build, and that is the steering wheel. The steering wheel itself was about 250 bucks of eBay. As I said, it's an original BMW E46 M Sport wheel with Alcantara and the M Sport stitching. Really lovely, but it was pretty expensive. And but I have not regretted getting it. This is, in my opinion, almost the best part of the whole thing, and it adds to the experience immensely, even in VR. Just having the right diameter of the wheel, the same diameter of the wheel that you're driving in VR mostly when it's a road car, that helps a lot with feeling in place and feeling like you're actually sitting in that car. And there was always kind of a little bit of a mismatch before, at least sometimes. The cockpit itself, the dash, was 80 bucks. There were lots of different dashes available, Mercedes dashes and all kinds of different things. I've picked this dash because I like the design, I like the simplicity of it, and I thought it would be a nice average dash size, so that it would be a good substitute, or a good I don't know exactly what you would call it. It would be great for use in VR because the size is kind of in the middle. It's not huge, it's not small, so this would fit nicely with a Miata as well as with a bigger car, and it does. The dash itself was 80 bucks, but that did not include the air vents, that did not include these parts here, all the inlets, that did not include the center console, and that did not include the glove box, and that did not include the other air vents outside there. So all in all, the dash with all its components, that was around 350 euros. I've said at the time, and I still believe that you could get that for an even lower price if you have a junkyard nearby and you can just go there and rip the dash completely out of an old car. I think that should be cheaper. And yeah, so the whole dash, including the center console, including all the air vents and all that stuff, was 350 bucks. The wheel itself was 250 bucks. The dash, that was around 80 again. There was an M dash available from an M3, but that was, I think, 180, and I just couldn't justify that. I mean, it would have looked nice, but just spend 100 bucks just for that, that was a little bit too much. I still would like to activate that dash, or to make it functional at some point in the future. It's not a matter of money. The Arduino boards only cost around 15 or 16 euros on Amazon, so that's not expensive. It's more a matter of getting that to work, because there's no pre-made solution here. You have to program all of that stuff yourself, as far as I know. And I still have not really I still have no experience with Arduino, so that might come in the future. It's not a huge priority yet. All in all, the costs for this was, I'd say, around 850 to 900 bucks, excluding the tools that I had to buy. Had to buy a Dremel, had to buy a new soldering iron, and all that kind of stuff. It was a whole lot more work than I initially expected. That is the huge advice that I can give anyone who tries to do this. This takes a lot of work and energy, and it took me, I'd say, 8 to 10 weeks to finalize everything, and it still isn't finalized. I still have the hole here. A few minor details still have to be done, but it is functional. As of 2 days ago, I finally have the handbrake working as well. That was a really big pain in the ass to not have that, but it finally works, and I have quite the elegant solution right now because I just extended the cable and plugged it into the pedals, so I don't have a separate controller for the handbrake. It's part of the pedals, which kind of makes the whole thing a bit less complicated, and that's always a good thing to have only 3 different controllers or 4 different controllers and not 5. I have to say I'm really a little bit surprised how sturdy it is. I thought I would have to maybe, I don't know, reattach some things, or some things would get loose or wobbly or whatever. They don't. It's really very sturdy. So maybe taking a little bit more time while building it has paid off in that way. Would I do it again? Most definitely yes. I think part of it was the experience of building it, of handling a project of that size, which was a first for me. It was a great learning experience, and it was very satisfying towards the end when everything came together, although it could be very frustrating throughout the build when you're hitting the walls and you don't quite know how to solve things. But in the end it worked out, and it was very satisfying and very educational for me. I think if I would have to do it again, I would try to get a complete dash from a junkyard. I would drive. I don't have a junkyard nearby, but I would drive there with a buddy, with a rental car or whatever, and get it from there. I think that would be a whole lot cheaper, and you have all the parts that fit together right there. I think that is what I would do. Other than that, I'm super happy. The little difference that I can really rest my leg against the center console, that I can put my arm on the armrest here, is, I can't really explain it, but it makes a huge difference in VR especially. You instantly feel at home in the virtual cockpit through that. It's just easier to calibrate yourself. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, that's the current status. I can already see here a little bit of wear and tear on the carpet, which is interesting. So that might be something that I will have to deal with in a few months or so. But other than that, it holds up just fine, and it takes all kinds of abuse. And I really love it right now. So there will be another building phase. I will have to finish this off, and I don't like the gap down here, and I don't like the gap here. So there's still more to do, or more that can be done. But to be honest, right now I'm super happy that it's functional and that it works, and that it works reliably, especially. I can drive this for hours and nothing will, stop to work. It just works, which is awesome. One thing that I don't use much is the smart tablet in the center. I thought I would use it more, but it just usually when I record, obviously I have the headset on, and when I sit here and edit stuff, I don't know. I just don't use it that often. I still think it's better than just a plastic cover. It's better to have it functional, but in my case, I could have gone with a plastic cover because I don't use it that much. But that's not to say that maybe there will be use for that in the future, and it was just $40, so I still think that was the right way to go. You can see right here how dusty this can get, and there you go. When you have the brush, it cleans up nicely. So yeah, you have to clean it like you have to clean your car, which is something I like actually. And that's about it for now. So as I said, the total cost for this project, excluding obviously the parts that I already have. I already had the steering wheel, which is super expensive. I already had the shifter, which is already also pretty expensive at I think almost $500. I already had the pedals, I already had the handbrake and all that kind of stuff. But the cockpit itself, that was around $850 in parts, and I'd say close to 300 hours of work for me personally. Yeah, so that's about it. If you have any specific questions about the build or about the parts, please let me know in the description, in the comments. I'm happy to answer. And now I will prepare to record another engine swap build, and I still don't know what it will be, but it will be fun. I know that already. All right, guys, see you in the next one. Bye bye.